Welcome to the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. You can catch us Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on FS1. Here's what this podcast is all about. It's an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the day's show, and there is a lot to get into in today's podcast. Skip jumps on board and tells us why the 4-1-2 and my Pittsburgh Steelers will win in Kansas City on Sunday. Shannon says the Cowboys just had a bye week, but they're about to go bye-bye for the season after Aaron Rodgers gets his revenge tour started this Sunday in Jerry's World. Hall of Famer Chris Carter gets a step-by-step analysis of why the Dez Bryant controversial catch was not a catch in the 2015 divisional round, while Shannon gives us a lesson in Bulgarian. Plus, Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard helps preview the Christmas Day rematch between the Cavs and the Warriors. And the guys tell you why the Texans don't really have a chance Saturday night against Psycho Tom and the Patriots. Shannon and Skip, you guys ready for this big game on Sunday?
You're going to get exactly what you're looking for on Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're looking for it, but you're going to get it regardless.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, there's only one place to start today, and that's the Cowboys hosting the Packers Sunday in a huge divisional round matchup on Fox. The Packers have won 7 in a row, but they lost to the Cowboys back in Week 6. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 157 yards in that game. He's doing a lot of this. Doing a lot of that, Shannon?
Well, he sure was in that game. But that was an ancient history. Go ahead, Shannon.
Who wins?
Well, Skip.
Can't wait for this.
I told you months ago what was going to happen to your Cowboy. They were going to be like Kentucky freshmen in basketball.
You did.
One and done. And Aaron Rodgers' revenge tour starts Sunday at 4:25 Eastern Time. I'm sorry, Skip. I wish it was something I could tell you to make you feel better, that could soothe you. But there's nothing. I'm just going to give it to you straight, Skip. I think the biggest key for this ball game, the Packers, they must stop Zeke. Zeke had 20 rush attempts on first down, averaging 6.3 yards a carry and a touchdown. Now, during the regular season, he's averaging 5.5 on first down. So he's almost a full yard better against the Packers. They're going to sell out, Skip. They're mortgaging everything to stop Zeke and say, you know what, Dak Prescott, we want you to go head-to-head with Aaron Rodgers. We want to see if you can get into the 30s again because we don't believe you. We believe what you did at Lambeau was a once-in-a-lifetime deal at such a storied venue. Also, for the Packers, on the Packers side, they got to do better on first down. They were always third and long because they were getting no yards or negative yards on first down, and that allowed the Cowboys to play an exotic. They played three-down linemen. Three-down linemen, a couple of times they had a couple of spies. Justin Durant, I think that's his name, would spy. And everywhere Rodgers tried to move, he was shadowing. And he did a great job. But when you're 3rd and 10, you're 3rd and 12, 3rd and 14, you get an opportunity to play these exotic coverages. So I believe if the Packers can somehow manage to be 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 or less, I like Aaron Rodgers. Skip. What I love most about the Packers is that since they've been on this playoff streak, because they basically every game they played for the last 7 weeks was a playoff game for them.
Correct.
They had no margin for error. And you know what? Their margin of error has been 1. Week 13, Aaron Rodgers fumbled inside the 5-yard line going in for a score. They've taken the ball away 17 times. And with that being said, that Aaron Rodgers, that historically great, that transcendent great quarterback, he does it on Sunday. The Packers, 34. The Cowboys, 30.
You gave my Cowboys 30 points?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
I gave him the L, too.
Wow.
But I love how...
30 points?
Skip.
Wow.
I love
the kids, the 2 rookies, are going to score 30 points?
I love how you gloss over the fact that, you gave my Cowboy, but you left out the part that I gave them that L also.
Well, I knew you were going to give him the L, but I thought it'd be like 42 to 14.
No. I'm not going to give it to him. Aaron Rodgers is going to throw for about 4 touchdowns. He's going to give it to him. I just predicted it.
So, before I unleash from this side of the desk, quick question.
Yes.
How many times have you been wrong about my Cowboys this football season? Because I lost track. Was it 10 times, 11 times? Help me out here.
I've been wrong several times, but I've also been right several times.
Several times?
Did they play the Giants?
Yeah.
Did they lose to the Giants at any point in time?
You got those two right.
Okay.
So I'll give you those two. We didn't pick the Philly game because it was just basically a bye week. So you were right 2 times. There might have been one other game, like the Bears game, we probably didn't even pick.
There's a lot of games that we didn't pick,
13,
Skip.
So that means probably at least 11 times you were wrong sitting in that chair about my Cowboys.
We did not pick the Cleveland game.
Maybe not. Okay. But I'm back. I said they won 13.
Okay, Skip, go ahead and make your point.
10 times
make your
you were
point.
wrong. Think about that. 10 times you were wrong about my Cowboys. So the truth is that the odds are starting to be in your favor, right? That just by law of average, at some point, you're going to luck into being right about a pick against my Cowboys.
Oh, so you think what I do over here is luck?
Well, you're going to hit the lottery one of these days, right? You might hit the lottery on this one because
I play twice a week, Skip. Yeah. I just need to be right once.
Do you play the lottery?
Yeah.
He's very convinced he's going to win the lottery.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I don't play.
He said it yesterday. I'm going to go play the lottery and win $600 million.
Let me ask you a question.
But you corrected him to say that's not how it works.
That is how it works. Listen, Bill Gates is worth $81 billion. Yeah. He works every day. He don't need any more, but he said I don't need any less either. So why can't I play the lottery?
Okay.
I'm gonna win and buy me a franchise.
Are you out of here? Or you?
Oh no! I gotta come back. I'm gonna have my money back and just be punching you in the head, like Floyd Mayweather gonna do Conor.
Well, I have to give this point to you. After all that I read and all that I watched and all that I've heard over the last 48 hours. You're on the right side of this pick because even though my Cowboys, and I must be wrong about this, I must be memory fade, who knows, I don't know, but even though I think they're 5-point favorites in this game, it feels like they're 5-point underdogs because of everything you just said that the NFL world is now embracing. This is the hottest quarterback in the history of the world. And all I've heard over the last 48 hours from everyone out there in NFL commentator land, and that includes you, is you don't bet against a hot quarterback in the postseason, especially this quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, who is historically great. Yes. He is transcendent. He is transcendental. I'll even go that far.
Oh, okay.
He's special. He's rare. He's one in a jillion. He is once in a lifetime, right? This is Aaron Rodgers, as hot as he's ever been in his whole. Right. One time we saw it, right?
You didn't see it. I saw it in 1986.
Yeah.
Joy, you probably like 2 months old.
Aaron Rodgers is 22 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions in his last 8 games. That includes 1 loss, but he's won his last 7 in a row. And now you have Aaron Rodgers up against 2 rookies in Dallas. So the NFL world is sitting back saying, good luck with that one, Jerry Jones, because your fraudulent team is about to get exposed by the greatest quarterback ever.
If they lose, that doesn't mean they're fraudulent, Skip.
Well, that's what most people think because
you
most
believe
people,
that deep down, too.
No. I believe they're fraudulent, and I picked him in August? Really? I don't think so. I think I know what's inside here, and trust me, I believe with heart and soul in this Cowboy team.
What about what's inside here? That's your heart talking. I need you to think clearly.
I'm about to tell you everything that's in my head right now because this is strictly a head pick. This is not a heart pick. But I'm going to give you this. Aaron Rodgers has become the NFL equivalent of a Marvel superhero. And in fact, I'm going to predict the next big Avengers blockbuster, I think Aaron Rodgers will be in it as one of the Avengers. Seriously. He's going to be that transcendentally great that because he is the superhero.
Is Green Lantern the superhero?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
Well, he's the Green Lantern, then he got the green.
He's got the green? Okay, so he's the Green Lantern. But it's now up to Aaron Rodgers to save the NFL world from my Dallas Cowboys because everybody hates the Cowboys. We know that.
You just said there's America's team.
Well, that's just Cowboy Nation. But everybody outside Cowboy Nation, the reason they're America's team is because they're so hated. They're a lightning rod team because so many people want to see Aaron Rodgers in the run this Sunday afternoon at Jerry World. Am I right about that?
No.
And your cowboy-hating self, you can't stand it. You think this is going to save you from me, and the truth is, it's not. Because I'm going to boil this down very simply for you. You being the Hall of Famer that you are, I'm going to teach you a little football here.
Okay.
My Cowboys are simply better than Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They're just the better team. They have the better overall offense because the Packers don't have much running game. They're just fling it and pray. That's what they are. They're going to have to outgun you because they can't outpossession you. They can't impose their will with a running game on you. They really don't have much of a running game. And defensively, even my Cowboys, with the 5th best scoring defense in the NFL, have a better defense than the Green Bay Packers do. And my clutch kicker, I'll take him anytime over Green Bay's kicker with the chips on the table. So if it comes down to that, I got Dan Bailey in this game, and you don't.
Is your defense better than the Giants?
No.
Okay,
So,
Aaron Rodgers hung 38 on them. You couldn't get to 30 in 2 games.
And what happened in that game, if you really boil it down, Aaron Rodgers was in big trouble because for a quarter and about 3/4 of the second quarter, he looked, dare I say, human. He looked average. And what happened? Playoff Eli emerged and had him on the ropes, had the Packers on the ropes at Lambeau. And what happened? The yacht club happened. It had already happened because Odell had let all the receivers down to Miami. You know it, and I know it. They didn't show up. They went to Miami, and then they didn't show up in Green Bay. They're dropping early balls. They dropped 2 early touchdown passes. It should have been 14-0 New York Giants. And then we would have seen just how great Aaron Rodgers was because I think he would be watching this game from home if not for those drop passes.
You know how great he is. You don't need to see anything else. You read the book. You've seen the movie.
Yep.
Do I need you to give you a Cliff Notes version of it? You know he's historically great. You know what the man is capable of. He loses his best receiver, Jordy Nelson. And Devontae Adams says, oh, I got you back. Aaron Rodgers scores 38. Now, you just said yourself, the Giants' defense is better than the Cowboys' defense. Aaron Rodgers got 38. How many points did you guys score? Twice against the Cowboys. My bad, I cheated you at a point. You scored 26 in 2 games. Aaron Rodgers got 12 more points in 1.
No, wait, which game
Against
are you
the
talking
Giants.
about?
The Giants, you scored 19, you scored 7. That is 26 points.
Yeah, okay.
Aaron Rodgers scored 38 points in 1 game.
Yeah, when the Giants gave up in the second half and said, we just don't belong here because our receivers didn't show up.
That's what Aaron does.
All right, I'll give
He
you that.
beats you so bad, he makes you like, I don't want no more.
So let me continue telling you why I'm picking the monumental upset on Sunday.
How's it upset you favored by 5?
Because it's the greatest quarterback in history, and everybody says, go read all the predictions. Just scour the internet. Everybody's picking Aaron Rodgers, except little old me over here, and I'll tell you why. Because Green Bay, as you point out, has played 7 straight gotta-win-'em games. That's 7 straight, quote-unquote, playoff games. You can't tell me they're not a little beat up physically from this.
Nope.
And my Cowboys got the all-important, the all-crucial bye playoff week to get ready for this game. And my young running back, age 21 from Ohio State, a guy named Ezekiel Elliott, got shut down for 3 straight weeks at the perfect time for a high collision running back to get completely fresh, healthy, and rested. And what did Zeke the Freak do at Ohio State in every solo stage, big stage game, twice against Michigan? He goes for 121, and the second time against Michigan, 214 against St. Nick's defense in a semifinal national playoff
We're talking about
game.
the pros.
Well, 230 yards. The national championship game against Oregon, Zeke the Freak, 246 yards. His final Fiesta Bowl, 149 more yards and 4 touchdowns. Every time the money's on the table, every time the world is watching, Zeke the Freak says, watch this. This will be the biggest game yet of his career. National TV on Fox against Aaron Bleepin' Rodgers. Watch this. Here he comes. And I got to tell you, he only went for a mere 157 at Lambeau. And you can throw 8 men in the box, you can throw 11 men in the box. But the problem you're going to have is your defensive front is a little smallish and not very physical. And my offensive line is the most physical in all of football. And slowly but surely, it will impose its will. It will out-physical the front 7 or front 8 or front 9, whatever you want to throw at it. And Zeke the Freak will pound away and gash away and slash away for another 130, 140 yards. And my team is built to beat Aaron Rodgers because my team is built to have the kryptonite for Superman. It is. It's my team can keep Superman on the sideline off the field because it can control the clock, move the chains, and win the time of possession. That's all that matters in this game is time of possession. What you got for that, Mr. Sharpe?
You said the Cowboys are coming off a bye. They're about to have another one. Bye-bye.
Oh, okay. Is that all you got? Is that
you know what I noticed? You know what I
neat.
noticed, Skip? You keep talking about Zeke the Freak.
Yeah.
Not one time in all that soliloquy that you just gave.
I'm just getting started.
Hold on, wait a minute.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
Do I get to talk?
No, you just got finished with 10 minutes of talking.
No, I did not.
Hold on, Skip. The whole while, you went Zeke rushed for 815 yards in the state high school playoff game in Missouri. You went to Michigan.
He did win the state hurdles championship. I'll throw that in.
You gonna let me talk?
He's going to hurdle a bunch of these Packers.
Oh, he rushed for this many times, this many yards against Michigan twice. You know what he did against Ain't Nick. And then in the national, not one time did he mention the guy that led the NFL in QBR for 15 weeks. Not one time did he mention the guy that had a better QBR in the regular season than Aaron Rodgers. He keep talking. Whoa!
This is page 2 of my notes. See, page 2.
Skip, we only got 2.5 hours.
I'm to Dak, okay? So I haven't even gotten to Dak
Yeah,
yet
page 1
because
was Zeke.
you haven't let me talk.
Hold on, Skip.
Let me speak.
I will. Hold on, Skip. We only have 2.5 hours. You trying to get Ben-Hur. You trying to get Cleopatra. Nobody got 4 hours and 14 minutes to watch this.
We got time today.
All
that matters. This is the moment of truth.
So now, see, this is what I wanted you to hear. Now, you kept telling everybody Dak is the MVP. How can the MVP be on the second page? But the guy that you just keep hyping and, he can run the ball. He's a hurdler.
Playoff games are about matchups, and this is a really bad matchup
we got the perfect
for Aaron Rodgers.
This is the
antidote. This is the kryptonite. And if you sell out and load the box with 11 Packers, guess who's going to shred you just the way he shredded you at Lambeau Field? Dak Prescott, 4th round, Mississippi State. You want to talk about special? He has had the most special year any rookie quarterback has ever dreamed of having, and it's going to continue this Sunday. Yes, he has, because RG3 didn't do that.
Well, he better win Rookie of the Year.
Huh? Did RG3 win 11 straight games? No.
All I know
Did he lead the league in QBR? No. He didn't do this.
You didn't either.
Huh? Was Tony Romo looking over RG3's shoulder? I don't even remember who the backup was in Washington. Oh, great. Well, he was a co-rookie that year. That's a threat. Way to go.
Hold up, where's RG3?
Yeah, let's get back on track here because Dak Prescott threw for 247 and 3 touchdowns at Lambeau.
Yes,
and a lot of people called it a fluke. And you know what it was? It was a preview of what's about to happen again. Because that day, Dak Prescott had a QBR of 70, and Aaron Rodgers had a QBR of 35, his season low. Who knew? Wait, 70 to 35. So wait. The rookie from Mississippi State doubled the greatest quarterback in history, 70 to 35. They didn't play well, Skip.
They turned the ball over 4 times.
And you know what? They were riding high at that point where the Green Bay Packers at 3-1 with the best rush defense, quote unquote, in pro football. And it got run over. It got run out of its own house. And even though right now people think Aaron Rodgers is going to swat those playoff opponents the way he did that fly with that golf club in that commercial,
I said that.
He's up against well, I've been saying it all year. I've been making references to the commercial way before you. But anyway, you can take credit if you like.
The Cowboys are the fly.
But
Aaron Rodgers got the golf club
taking
it to him.
Here's the point, that these quote-unquote kids know they went to Lambeau when Aaron and company were riding high, and they won 30-16. You scored 16 points in that game. And furthermore, about half of my roster knows that it went up to Lambeau in a playoff game that mattered 2 years ago and did everything but win the game because we all know that was a catch. Nobody except you and sometimes Chris Carter just because he sells out for you. That's the only reason he does it. Yeah, he just has to go along because anyway, we'll get into that later because we're going to do this later in the show. But Dez Bryant owes you because it was clearly a catch. Dez Bryant's going to have a couple of big catches in this game. And little measly Beasley that you insulted our first week of the show is going to come back to haunt you because I'm going to predict he'll have 7 catches for 80 or 90 big yards. He had 2 touchdown catches at Lambeau Field. He is going to haunt and hurt you in this game.
Has he ever had 90 yards in a game receiving?
I don't know. But he will this time.
No, he will not.
And furthermore, finally, my defense, as you pointed out, has done a really nice job on Aaron Rodgers. Who knew? Because they'll rush 3 with the spy, or they'll rush 4 and stay disciplined in their lanes, and he can't get outside the pocket. So I think this team is made to beat Aaron Rodgers. And finally, I'm going to predict this. I think the offense will get off to a little bit of a slow start. There's going to be a little bit of rust and some nerves. I will give you that. But the defense will hang right in there, and before you know it, will get imposed on the Green Bay Packers. So I'm going to go with the monumental upset over what Rob Parker called the Messiah, the NFL's Messiah. Aaron bleeping Rodgers. I don't know how, somehow, some way, I'm going with my Cowboys 30-26. 30-26, revenge for the catch that wasn't. The greatest play in NFL history that was not. Watch and listen and learn, because you're going to get taught yet another lesson, and you're going to have to come back on Monday morning and sit in that chair for the 10th or 11th time and say, I don't know what happened.
I'm a firm believer the team that loses the first game have a decided advantage, because you lost. There are things you can correct. When you play as well as the Dallas Cowboys did that Sunday, what do you correct? That's why they're Skip, I don't want you to hurt, Skip. I love you, bro. And I wish you something. I'm going to put a call into Ernestine. Ernestine, I need you to console my brother. Tell him it's going to be okay. Tell him it's all going to be okay.
You know what? I got this.
No mercy. To the 4-1-2, the Steelers take their 8-game winning streak on the road Sunday against the Chiefs. Pittsburgh blew out Kansas City in Week 4. In that game, Ben Roethlisberger threw 5 touchdown passes. I like that 4-1-2 shout-out, Shannon?
No, it goes 4-4. You can do 3-0-5. You might can do 3-10 or 3-2-3, but not no 4-1-2.
I'm from the 4-1-2. I still have a 4-1-2 area code.
This show is all about the 2-1-4, so just keep going.
Who wins, Shannon?
No, nobody's talking about Dallas. Yes, nobody says no 2-1-4.
We're talking a lot of Dallas today. Who wins, Shannon?
I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs at home. I like what I've seen when they play at home. Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Jeremy Maclin. I think Jeremy Maclin is going to be as healthy as he has at any point in time during the season. And they have no answer for Travis Kelce. He's special. I believe when healthy, he's the second best tight end in football behind Gronk, but Gronk is oftentimes more injured than he actually is playing. But when he's playing, there's no doubt who's the best tight end in football. Tyreek Hill is a very unique individual, Skip. You just try and find as many possible ways as you can to get the ball in his hands. And of the all-pro team, there are only 2 guys that were all-pro, unanimous selections. One was Ezekiel Elliott. The other was Tyreek Hill in the return game. And the Chiefs do a great job of handing him the ball on jet sweeps. They'll even line him up in the backfield and hand him the football. They'll throw it to him on jailbreak screens. And then in the return game, you can't let him touch the ball. And I think Andy Reid realizes that, you know what, in order for us to win this game, we have to be explosive on offense, and we're going to have to take our cracks, because I believe the weakness of the Steelers team is their defense, because offensively, I think they can put points up on anybody. So I'm looking at it like, okay, the Steelers offense, Houston's defense, maybe that's a push. But I think the decided advantage is the Chiefs offense against the Steelers defense. You might not realize this, Skip, but you look at any quarterback that has at least 5 playoff starts. Alex Smith has the 3rd highest points per game, 29.4. He's thrown 11 touchdowns with 1 interception. And you remember that game against Drew Brees where he threw the game-winning touchdown with 9 seconds to Vernon Davis. They lost the game in which he threw for 378 and 4 touchdowns to the Colts, in which they led at one point 38-10. He doesn't get the credit sometimes because when you look at him, he really checks. He's more. It seems to me he's more concerned about his completion percentage, his QBR rating, because he'll check the ball down as opposed to going for the big play. And maybe because, you know, normally when he throws the ball down the field, bad things happen. But with that being said, you have one way to beat the Steelers. You got to take Le'Veon Bell and turn Justin Houston and D Ford and Tamba Hali loose. Chris Jones has been great in the middle, the rookie they just got this year. Yep. He can push the pocket. Ben's going to hold on to the ball. He's going to give you an opportunity to get to him. And because he holds the ball so long, and because he likes to hold it a lot of time in one hand, he's going to give you an opportunity to get it out. The Steelers left the Dolphins around a lot longer than what they should have. And I believe them going into a hostile environment in Kansas City. Now, they haven't won a playoff game, Skip, since '93. But with that being said, I like the Chiefs in a close ball game. I say on the last second field goal, 24-23, and they move on.
24-23. And I got to get this straight again. Pittsburgh was your preseason Super Bowl pick, correct?
Skip.
And now, well, I want to make sure you're still riding this bandwagon. You're on the Kansas City bandwagon to win the AFC.
They asked me a question.
Okay.
Joy said, Shannon, who do you have?
Yeah. I
The
just want to get
Chiefs
straight.
or the 4-1-2?
Yeah.
And I said, I got Kansas City.
Okay. And
All the
you
others-
also have Kansas City to win the AFC. Am I correct?
Skip, well, can you
but
make
that
your
changes
argument?
from day to day. Oh, so
Jeez.
that doesn't matter about this game. I just want to get this straight.
Who you got?
Okay. I got the same thing that I had in August. And again, you can accuse me of being stubbornly proud, overly proud, but I said before the season
Just
started
stubborn.
on this show, I said that Pittsburgh would lose at New England in the AFC Championship game. So I'm going with another upset. But I will tell you this. I feel better about this upset than I do about Seattle winning at Atlanta. That's going to be tough. I feel good about this one because, once again, Pittsburgh is better than Kansas City. They're just the better overall team. They have the better quarterback. They have the better big game, big stage receiver, Antonio Brown, obviously.
they do.
And they have what you call the best all-around running back in pro football, right?
Yeah.
So clearly they have the better running back. And
But you know, you do play like football is comprised of 3 different units. Like the offense is better. Are you saying that the Pittsburgh defense is better than Kansas City's?
you know, once Kansas City lost Derek Johnson manning that
Yes.
middle, sort of mirroring Le'Veon,
Yes.
meeting him in the hole,
Yes.
I think that's a huge loss for them. And
What about
again,
the return game? You like
Tyreek
Kyrie?
is sensational. But as explosive as he can be, and Travis Kelce is the Gronk of the Midwest, the new Gronk, right?
Yep.
Well, then I look at what happened to Kansas City down the stretch, and they lost 2 games of their last 4 at home, and they lost them both to Tampa and to Tennessee. They lost 19-17 at Arrowhead. So Tyreek and Travis, what happened? They scored 17 in both those games because I got to tell you, Arrowhead has lost its mystique. You talked about the hostile crowd. Well, that's in your day. That's when it was. And when you guys were arch rivals and you went to Arrowhead, once upon a time, Arrowhead was the worst place to visit, especially for a sort of a night. This is a day game, but especially for a night game. And as you point out, as we talked about all week, they've lost their last 4 home playoff games as a franchise. Really? Their last 4, and they lost 2 late games in the year at home. So it's a lost, it's ancient history now. I'm sorry.
But they lost to better teams. You know, we were a better team when we beat them in 97.
Okay, well, I got that, but
Peyton Manning, when Peyton Manning throws for 5 touchdowns and almost 400 yards with no turnovers, you expect to beat him?
okay, but Tampa beat this year's team
Yes.
late in the year at Arrowhead.
Yes.
In Tennessee, are you saying those teams were better than Kansas City?
No,
I think it shows you what Kansas City was and what it wasn't.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, when you look at teams that's not really familiar with each other, things can happen. Obviously, you get up and play and you're very familiar with a division opponent like the Steelers and the Ravens. They play each other all the time. But it wouldn't be uncommon for a team that doesn't play the Steelers on a regular basis to go in there and beat them. But see, I love how you talk about, well, Kansas City lost these games at home. How many points did you guys score at home against the Giants? You lost. How many points
Well,
did you guys
the
score?
opening with a rookie quarterback in his first ever start.
See,
He
this is
scored
what,
19.
But see, this is what you do, Skip.
Well, what does that have to do? Then my team won 11 straight. Did Kansas City win 11
I
straight?
just want to say this.
Yeah.
This is what you do. When you lose, you say you had a rookie quarterback. But when you win, you want him to be MVP. You can't have it both ways.
I never said I lost because of rookie quarterback. I said that was his first start against Eli Manning,
Why'd you
the
bring
arch
that-
rival.
why'd you bring that up?
I told you he played plenty well enough to win that game.
No, he
if
didn't.
Dez drops a touchdown pass and Measly Beasley drops a touchdown pass, they're going to lose because Eli cashed in the red zone and the 2 receivers didn't. Or I would have won that game because Dak would have won that game.
I like Eric Berry. I think Eric Berry is the second best safety in all of football behind Earl Thomas. Marcus Peters, we know what he can do. He's a ball hawk. He will take chances. And sometimes teams take advantage of that. But I just think if they can slow down Le'Veon, now to stop him, we're going to hold him to 25, 30 yards. That's not going to happen. But if you can control him and get into a situation where you can unleash the hounds on Ben, because Ben is going to give you an opportunity to take the ball out of his hands, and he's going to put the ball in harm's way because he did it last week against Miami. I believe Kansas City has a better defense than Miami, and he was playing at home. So we know what Ben is. Ben is always looking downfield, trying to get the big play. And when you do that, you subject yourself to somebody coming and taking the ball out of your hand from behind, and he will force the ball on occasions. We saw that last week because he's always trying to make a play. And with that being said, I think Kansas City will force a turnover too, and that will be just enough for them to advance. And again, I will be right and you will be wrong, but that's a normal occurrence.
The other factor you miss, as far as the home crowd goes, predictions of ice storm hitting Kansas City this weekend. And I read last night there were still 8,000 unsold tickets because fans are so unsure whether they can even make it to the game because it's going to be iced over. That's also going to be big advantage Pittsburgh. Yet the weather's supposed to break by noontime, and I think the game time temperatures will be just fine. Plus, Pittsburgh's a cold weather team anyway, so it won't hurt them. And don't forget, Pittsburgh will remember, and certainly the Chiefs will remember, what happened on October 2nd in the 4-1-2. Do you remember that game?
Yes, Skip, that was the beginning of the season.
It was 43-14, Big Ben and company. It was psychological devastation for the Kansas City Chiefs. They got destroyed, and they know they got destroyed, and the big mental edge in this game will belong to the visiting team because the visiting team has now won 8 straight games out of the 4-1-2, and Alex Smith in his last 4 games has thrown an interception in every game, which is very unlike him, uncharacteristic. I think he started to unravel as the Pittsburgh defense has started to get hot. I think he's going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I like Pittsburgh fairly convincingly in this game, 24-16. 24-16. I said it. Kansas City.
I've always been a firm believer, Skip, that the team that loses the first time has the advantage. Because when you score 43 points, what do you need to correct? You scored 43. You scored 43 points. Now, Kansas City is looking like, hold on, guys, we scored 14 with the firepower that we possess on offense. We're better than that. It's easier to make corrections when your players have lost and lost in the fashion in which the Chiefs did to the Steelers in Pittsburgh, the 4-1-1. I mean, 4-1-2.
Yeah, the 4.
No one says
4-1-2. Needs information. Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, the 4. I tell you what, after the game when they play Sunday. Guess what? Pittsburgh will get on that bird and go back to the 4-1 deuce, and they'll put their stuff up in their locker, and they'll check out on Monday, and that'll be deuces.
So I'm going to give you one last chance.
No, I don't want it.
You've talked about it. You can switch back to your original.
I don't want to switch.
After all the case that I made for Pittsburgh, which I could see over there, you were starting to shudder, and it's okay. It's okay. You can say, I give up. I'm back on my old bandwagon. I got Pittsburgh.
Skip Bayless,
I give you the opportunity. Nobody will think twice about it.
When I buy a TV and the cable people come in, I throw the remote control away because I ain't switching nothing.
Really?
Whatever channel it's on, when they plug it in, that's what I stay with.
You throw the remote away?
Throw the remote away because I ain't switching jack.
That's why I beat you every day, because you can't even change your channels to watch the games.
Yeah.
What
if it's like a terrible show?
I don't switch.
Or a bad movie?
I'm in.
It's all right. I seem to remember you disrespecting the terrible towel a few weeks ago. So I don't know if you're allowed back in anyway.
You know what? Tyreek Hill's going to do something with that terrible towel.
You better not. No mercy. 2 years and 2 days ago, we saw one of the most memorable plays in playoff history. Dez Bryant made what we thought was a catch on the 4th down late in the 4th quarter. It was initially ruled a catch, but then overturned, and the Packers ran out the clock to win the game. Yesterday, Dez talked about this infamous play. Let's take a listen.
You did catch it, right?
Yeah, of course.
It was impossibly tough at the time. I think you told me.
Hey, man, we ain't going to talk about the catch.
Talk about it a little.
Nah, we're not going to talk about the catch. Yeah, of course it was tough. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. You know, it ended our season. Before we even knew we was going to play the Packers, it's still to this day. They'd be like, it's January, blah, 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 2017, 3:29 p.m., and just want the world to know that Dez Bryant still caught it, you know. That'd be funny, so I don't even care. That was 2014. You know, it's no extra motivation, it's no nothing. You know, if there's any motivation, it's just, you know, to prepare better than the last time. I feel like I've done that.
Chris Carter is still with us. It was trending on Twitter yesterday. Dez caught it. Skip, let me start with you. Was this, what is that? The L?
Cowboys took the L.
Huh?
The Cowboys took the L.
Arthritis acting up over there?
Yeah.
You having trouble keeping your finger down?
They're gonna take a bigger L
Okay.
on Sunday.
Okay.
Was this a catch?
You know, the more I watch this play, the sicker it makes me. And something Dez said that we didn't see yesterday caught my ear. He said that he was shocked that Mike McCarthy would even think to challenge the play. And as a viewer, that was my reaction, like, why would you challenge that? It was obviously a catch. And it was inexplicably outrageous that they overturned the call on the field that it was a catch. And I'm thinking, did Roger Goodell want to get even with Jerry Jones for something? I have no idea, because if you look at this play carefully, he caught the ball, he controlled the ball, he made a what they call football move. He ran with it for a stride, and he was in such control of it that he tried with his left hand to do what every running back tries to do, break the plane of the goal line. On purpose, he reaches with the ball he was controlling in his left hand to break the plane. It bobbled when it hit the ground because he slammed it on the ground, but he never lost control of it. It never bounced out of his grasp onto the grass. He had complete control of the football all the way through the process. It is clearly a catch that would have won the football game, and Dallas got all-time robbed at Lambeau against the greatest quarterback in the history of football.
With a pull calf. Go ahead, CC.
All right, let's go to the video. Let me teach the people. Let's teach America something, all right? At the beginning of the play, at the top of the play, Dez does not catch the ball. He doesn't catch it clean. That is not a secure catch. That's not catching the ball. He actually has possession of the ball right now, okay? So now he takes 2 strides. That's great. Now he falls to the ground. He's not lunging. He falls to the ground. The ball between his bicep and forearm, he loses control of it. So there's 2 elements. He didn't catch the ball the first time. Falling to the ground is not a football move or a football act, because if I hit Shannon right now and he fall over, that ain't no football move. That's a man falling. It's not a move common to football. He's not a running back. A running back, he has possession of the ball when he gets a handoff. So when he dives for the goal line, he already has possession of the football. When you go to the ground as a catch receiver, the game changes. The rules change. You have to make a move that's common. Possession of the football, 2 steps, a move that's common. And when you go to the ground, you must possess it all the way through the catch as if you were handing the ball to the referee. That's how you know what a catch is. Control, 2 feet, and a move that's common to football are time. Those are the things that the catch rule are determined by. That's why this is not a catch. This is not anything personally against Dez Bryant. This could be anyone else. But those are the rules of the game. When he went to get the ball the first time, he didn't get possession of the ball. He didn't have possession till the ball got on his pads, okay? So let's just agree for that. If he had plucked it first...
I'm not agreeing, but I'll wait.
Okay.
I'll wait. Go ahead.
If he had plucked it the first time, he didn't. He had to catch it again, okay? So when the ball got trapped on him, then he took 2 steps. If he was in the field of play and not falling, he would have been okay and then dove for the end zone. But he fell. And it's in the football rules, NFL, falling is not a football move. Like, it's not. It's not something known to football players. So him diving for the end zone, the rules change. Now you've fallen. Now you're on the ground. Now you must maintain possession all the way through the catch. People say, what is a catch? When you got the ball in your hand, Joy, and you can hand it to the referee, that's when your job is done, not when you bobble it on the ground.
I know we have a lot of different nationalities watching this show. So I want to say no in a lot of different languages. In English and Spanish, it's no. In Russian, it's net. In German, it's 9.
Really?
In Bulgarian, it's ne. And in barbershop, hell no, he ain't catch it. So
wait, I got to hear the Bulgarian again. Did you Google that?
Don't worry about what I did, Skip.
Did Steve Owens, your researcher, get that for you?
You got to get him on the research.
Yeah.
That's where he normally kill people. He got the research.
So what? Skip, as CC so eloquently laid out, the objective is once you catch the football and you go to the ground, you must maintain possession of the ball throughout the entirety of the catch. So when upon Dez going to the ground, He must basically go to the ground, stand up, first down, drop the ball. I give you a prime example. There was a play, and it was known as the Calvin Johnson rule. Now, this was if this wasn't a catch,
yes,
Dez Bryant has no. Now you tell me. Now look what Calvin Johnson does.
Possession, 2 steps, but he went to the ground.
And he was trying, and basically he was trying to get up off the ground. Look
Possession, 2 steps to the ground.
Falling.
Just like that.
Push down. Push down.
Yeah, okay, no problem. We'll take all those. Because those aren't a move by a wide receiver.
Once you go to the ground, you must maintain possession throughout the entirety of the catch. Now, while we scale up, okay, it was a catch. You can't get the L back. You can't get the dub back. It's over.
That's not the point here.
The point
They
is
got robbed.
They did not get robbed.
They did.
No problem. No.
What?
We got 30 years of NFL catching experience, but now it's down to being
We
robbed.
got almost 2,000 catches between the two of us. And people trying to tell us we don't know what a catch is.
Catch it clean.
And by the way, I've been in a couple of barbershops in the last couple of years where it was hell yes after the catch. Trust me, because they are filled with Cowboy Nation.
Yeah,
they own the barbershops.
Yeah, I know one. Carl Lee Booker, he owns the barbershop. And he sent me a picture of a Cowboy hat in his barber's chair. And when I go home this weekend, I'm going to go snatch it off. That's what I'm going to. Yeah.
And Kip and Skip, you and the Cowboys fans, like, this is not. I got my blue suit on for you guys. It's just.
You didn't pick us to win this game against Green Bay. Okay, here's my point. Sam Shields fights him for the ball at the top of his jump. And so there are lots of hands involved, so he couldn't snatch it cleanly because Sam Shields got his hands up under him.
I'll give you that, no problem.
But once he wins that little wrestling match for the football, it comes down to his chest, and he is controlling the ball for a stride. For a stride.
That's true.
So I'm going to call that a football move.
No problem.
But then he sees the white line, and he's got complete control of the football, and he's not trying to control it. He's trying to put it across the goal line the way running backs do. But we don't penalize running backs.
But a running back
for trying
already
to
has
slam the
possession.
ball. Okay, I got it. But he had enough possession for a football move to me. It is his football. He is controlling it completely in his left hand, and he's going to put it across the goal line. And by the way, it bobbles, but he didn't lose it in the grass. He still rolled, and it's...
The ball can hit the ground, Skip, but the ball, you must maintain control. And that ball being on his forearm and bicep, if he had been in the weight room, he had been able to squeeze it like Popeye, but it didn't. That ball moved there. So even if I even accepted all your other stuff, the ball moved on the ground. But he lost control of the ball on the ground.
Here's the point. He had enough control that if this play had happened at the 50-yard line, all he does is turn his body sideways and hits on his shoulder or on his back.
Well, that's what he should have done.
Okay, but he's trying to score.
Well, that's his fault.
Trying to break the plane.
Know the rules of the game.
Yeah, you're upset at the rules. The rules is what they are. If a player catches the football and he goes to the ground,
the rules change.
He must maintain possession of the football.
Until when?
Throughout the entirety of the catch.
You are penalizing him for trying to score the football.
Well, no, the rules.
We penalized Calvin Johnson, too.
Well, but again, he got pushed down. This isn't pushed down. This is Dez of his own volition. It's his choice. I'm going to put
That was a bad choice.
Okay.
That was a bad choice. He should have went with 2 hands. That's how I would have normally done it.
Yeah, but
go with 2 hands on the goal line.
I still say he made a football move and was in control enough of the football that
he
didn't
was
matter.
falling. He's a great athlete. He was a great athlete. That wasn't a football move.
Player catches the ball and goes to the ground. He must maintain possession of the football throughout the entirety of the catch.
Unless he makes a football move first.
Cole Beasley would have called it.
Well, he dropped it against the Giants early.
How did you get to Bulgarian?
Don't worry about this. I'm a world traveler.
French in there?
I'm a world traveler.
No mercy. Welcome back. 3 weeks ago, the Cavs beat the Warriors on Christmas. Monday, it's the rematch in Oakland. Chris Broussard is with us. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
How important is Monday's game for the Warriors?
You got indigestion or what's wrong?
Boy, they put that steak on them in Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day.
Is it an Alabama steak, though?
Ooh, 1 point. I wouldn't say they put it on them.
Point
They won by 1 point.
Wait, who hit the closer shot? I think it's Kyrie.
We're not even getting to Golden State. We're going Kyrie versus LeBron, right?
I'm sorry. Stop it now. You got 4 All-Stars, 3 gold medals, and the King and the Wonder Twins.
They got 3. They got 3 All-Stars.
Gold medalists?
Cleveland.
Gold medalists. How many gold medalists they got?
3. right?
Kevin Love
Kyrie? Yeah, Love won one.
Okay.
Yep.
And Bron took him down. Go ahead, Chris. Make your case.
I have to say this before we start. We know that Cleveland's beaten Golden State 4 straight times, okay? But last year, Golden State had actually beaten Cleveland 7 straight times before they came back from that 3-1 deficit. So they had won the last 3 games of the 2015 finals, swept them in the regular season, and then won the first 2 games of the finals. So I don't want to, I'm just saying, I don't want to make too much out of this. If Golden State loses and it's like, oh, Cleveland's beating them 5 straight, I'm not going to say they got their number. They just can't beat them, because we've seen these are 2 equally talented teams, and so we know what can happen there. That said, Golden State has not beaten an elite team all year. All year. They can beat 95% of the league on talent alone.
I'm not sure how many elite teams there are, but go
you're
ahead.
right. No, you're right.
That are elite, they haven't
beaten. They're only a handful of litmus test games for them. Cleveland, San Antonio. Do you want to throw in Houston now? Maybe. Memphis now because they've beaten them twice. But they're 0-5 against those teams. So for them, they need to beat an elite team. Talking to people up in Golden State, they've told me there's no doubt in their players' minds that they're better than Cleveland, even after what happened on Christmas Day. So what I want to see from Golden State, I think is important. One, you look at these teams that have beaten them, 3 of them are really physical. Memphis, Cleveland, San Antonio. So if they lose again to Cleveland, there begins to be a blueprint on how you beat them. Okay, so I think you have to be able to match their physicality, show you're not just a finesse team, and 2, your execution down the stretch. This is what they're saying, they don't have many close games. So their execution down the stretch is just not there, and that's why they lost to Cleveland on Christmas Day, up 14 in the 4th quarter. Who do you give it to? Does Durant use the pick and roll, or does he go one-on-one like against Memphis? So they've got to figure that out, and I think they're going to win. I think Steph has heard all this talk about he's not the same player from people like Shannon Sharpe and all that.
He's exactly the same. He's who we thought he was. But Uncle Drew.
25 points a game?
But Uncle Drew.
We'll take 25 points a game. But last 5 games, he's averaging 30 points, and he's shooting 22 shots per game. So he's gotten more aggressive, and I think he's going to come out and have a big game tonight.
What about the point guards he's been going up against in that 5-game stretch? He's gotten 30, averaging 30. Any of them Kyrie's caliber?
Defensively, better than Kyrie. Kyrie's, not going to defend.
But see, that's the problem. They're right. They're defensive guys, but they're offensively challenged.
Kyrie is a great offensive. I'm not trying to argue against Cleveland.
What's your point?
I'm just saying
Chris
Golden State's going to beat them tonight.
No, that's Monday. And
Monday,
I hope you're here Tuesday so I can prove you wrong again. The thing is, Skip, look, anytime you have 2 elite teams going up against each other, because it's, okay, who's the best player in the league? Is it Kevin Durant? Is it LeBron James? Now, you got Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie is always trying to, when you go up against someone that plays your position and people think they're better than you are, you're always out to prove something. Then you got Kevin Love in the Draymond situation. So it's always something. I'm always trying to send you a message. Ain't nothing changed. You know what happened last year when you was up 3-1. You know what happened on Christmas Day. You were up 14, and we came and got you. So ain't nothing changed. The only thing that's changed is the time and the location in which we're playing. That's the only thing that changed. Y'all got Kevin Durant and Steph and Clay and Draymond. We still got the King. We still got Uncle Drew. We still got K-Love. Now what? You got 2 coaches that won championships in their first year being a head coach. So, hey, you think you're the best? We think we're the best. Now, Klay Thompson. Now, you keep running your mouth. You keep talking about letting them be childish. You know what happened last time.
Childish say about what? About Halloween.
Because he upset about some cookies. He upset because LeBron had some Halloween cookies.
Now, if somebody had done that to you when you were playing, you wouldn't have said anything?
No.
You might not have said let them be childish, but I think you would have said something.
Because here's the thing. Now, you remember after they won the championship and they popping champagne, and Steph Curry said, boy, it smell like champagne in here. And Draymond Green said, did Cleveland win the championship? No. What if I go to state? Yeah. Hey, that wasn't childish. But you know what happened, Klay Thompson, last time you said LeBron he got his feelings hurt? He went 41, 16, 4, and 3. And then you thought he was joking. So you say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to follow it up with another 41, 8, 4-3. And then you say, oh, you playing, you can't do it again. Now I'm going to triple W in Game 7, and I'm going to walk out here with the trophy, and I'm going to have me a Kermit the Frog shirt.
I can't
Don't mind
think
me.
of a more passive-aggressive move than making cookies.
You upset about cookies? Who don't like cookies?
I'm not upset.
Do you like cookies?
I would have eaten the cookies. I'm
You
just
like
saying,
cookies, Chris? Everybody like cookies.
It's very, very tough.
She dislikes
very, very
LeBron
tough.
as much as Skip.
I don't dislike LeBron.
The cookies were why Draymond called LeBron that word. But
And what it got him?
okay, just for the record.
What it get him?
I don't remember Michael Jordan ever making cookies.
No, cookies.
He couldn't bake.
But I'm going to give.
LeBron didn't make them for the record.
Yeah,
He
okay.
just
he just,
He just
ate 'em.
ordered them.
yeah, he just ordered them.
Okay,
He just okayed them.
Corpse cookies.
I'm going to give you 1 point here. This game is psychologically huge for Golden State because LeBron James loves playing in that building. I looked at what he's done in his career. He's 8-4 at Oracle as LeBron James.
Including finals?
Yeah, I think it's including finals. But he's won 3 finals games in the last 2 finals at Golden State. Well, that's pretty great. He's 3-4 in the 2 finals at Golden State. That's pretty great to win 3 games on the road in that building.
Yep.
And again, we all know that LeBron can be clutch time challenged, but 2 of his big late game shots were in that building. Remember the game? I watch every game, but 2009 over Ronnie Turioff, he had a jump shot, like a 2-point jump shot. To me, it was a walk-off shot. And then in 2014,
That three in Iggy eyes.
yeah, right before it's a game before the All-Star break. 'Cause we took the other show I was on down to New Orleans for the All-Star game, and I was pushing LeBron at that point for MVP because he hit a cold-blooded 3. It wasn't a walk-off because they got one more shot, but it was a late-game big shot. He loves the background. It looks to me like he feels real comfortable at Oracle Arena.
Skip, you
I think he gets up for the big games.
Huh?
He gets up for the big games.
But I just think the building suits him, like he feels good there. So that's why he's starting to own their house, which is why they got to take their house back on Monday night.
If they lose, what do you think the ramifications are for the Warriors?
Well,
got to make a big move. Won't be able to beat Cleveland in the finals.
At some point, somebody's going to have to say, I close for this team. And I told you, or you guys laughed at me, Kevin Durant is not that guy. He is what I call a complimentary star, and I'm not trying to dismiss it because
as long as you say star.
Okay, I'll put a super.
As long
He's
as
a
you say star,
complimentary superstar.
Okay.
Not just player, he's a superstar, obviously. But do you realize what happened a week ago tonight at Golden State when Memphis played there? They were up 24 points at home, and they blew the lead. This is a bad sign because they're not sure, are you going to do it or am I going to do it? Who's going to close the deal? Remember the late play? We just saw it. Kevin Durant just went ISO at the top of the circle and took a shot that didn't even have a prayer, and Draymond went off on him as they walked to the bench. I thought Draymond really showed up Kevin Durant, and I know Draymond loves him, but look at this. He just read him the riot act about what had just happened. We don't play that way. We don't do this. This is not Golden State basketball. It's not Oklahoma City where you go ISO over on your side and jack up a shot to try to win the game.
Hey, this is LeBron. Get right here. This is LeBron walking into Oracle. Honey, I'm home. That's what he does. That's what he does when he go to Oracle Arena.
We were just talking about that Golden State doesn't have a closer, so let us finish that conversation.
You don't think they have
please.
any closers?
Yeah,
Skip.
They don't. Steph should be that guy.
But
and you know what? Against Cleveland, if you look at his numbers against Cleveland, they're all off. Not dramatically, but they're all down because Cleveland plays him physically, and I think Cleveland has gotten in Steph's head.
So why you want him to close? Why do you want him to close?
Because he is their guy.
I don't think they need to designate a closer. You've got 3. I've seen in the past where Andre Iguodala has hit the big shot.
Well, he was the MVP of the finals.
Well, I'm not even talking about the finals. Just in a regular season
Harrison
game,
Barnes.
they go to him. Harrison Barnes
against Philly last year.
You've got 3. That gives you options. You don't have. That's not a team that has to give it to one guy and say go solo. Whether it's Steph, Clay, Durant, but you can run plays for different guys and have different options.
They have welcomed Kevin in. They have embraced him. They've all publicly talked about we know we're all going to have to sacrifice for Kevin's sake. And at some point, you have to figure out the pecking order in the fourth quarter, and they aren't there yet.
And on Christmas Day, it was probably erroneously Durant. 2 for 9 in the fourth quarter.
Terrible.
Steph only got like 2 shots.
Got 2 shots.
But look,
and Steph hit a big late 3 that
I would
almost
rather
turned the
see
tide,
Steph
right?
hit it. But I'm cool with them having options and going to any of their big guns. But Steph's got to be, they got to learn how to execute down the stretch.
It's harder for you to defend Golden State in the final seconds because you got 3 guys that can get the ball off from anywhere. In Cleveland, and the most teams, you got 1 guy that's going to take the last shot. Cleveland has 2 guys. You know LeBron or Kyrie is taking the last shot.
No,
you go to Golden State.
They have 1 guy.
You got Golden State, you got Klay, you got KD, you got Steph Curry. So you mean to tell me if Klay Thompson takes the last shot, Steve Curry's going to be upset?
No.
If
He might draw up a play for Klay.
I mean, for you to say Kevin Durant, it's got to be Steph Curry. You said Steph Curry struggles against Cleveland, but in the same breath, you say he should be taking the last shot.
You have to reestablish that you're that guy. He was only the back-to-back MVP. He changed the game the last 2 years.
But what did he do in the finals?
I'm saying
he was
hasn't
not.
shown up.
Neither one of them is clutch. The clutch statistics, Durant and Steph are both around 30% or lower. LeBron's, we talked about this last week, he's 46% late game clutch shots.
Who hit the shot of Game 7 and who hit the shot of Christmas Day to win that game?
Oh,
I think it was
that's
Kyrie.
great.
What about the block?
Kyrie.
I'm glad you brought up.
You mean the tandem block with J.R.
No, it's
Smith?
1 block. Only 1 person gets credit for it.
They did it. So they went 2 by 2, like they rode the 2-seater bicycle.
Did you see LeBron score 11 points in the 4th quarter? They only scored.
Which game?
This is the thing, Skip.
Pick one in the 4th quarter.
That Kyrie hit those shots is not an insult or a slight on LeBron.
Yeah, but somebody has to say, this is over. I'm going to close this deal.
Okay, so why can't they say that in Golden State?
Do we go back to Michael Jordan? He didn't do that every time.
Only LeBron.
Nobody's done that every time. Nobody, not Bird, not Magic, not Kareem, not Michael.
Not
but
Jerry
LeBron's got to do it?
Yes, because
I mean,
here's the thing I don't understand. Did Michael Jordan win every game he ever played?
Did he? I think he did,
Yes,
right?
he did.
Did he hit?
He did.
He hit
Every last
walk-off
shot.
He did.
Who do you trust with the ball in his hands, with the game on the line and the clock down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Kyrie or LeBron? I think I'm taking Kyrie every time.
I'm taking LeBron because you know
You're
he's
taking
LeBron's
LeBron?
gonna make the right play.
Thank you.
I'm not in any way uncomfortable with LeBron having the ball at that point. And the stats
uncomfortable
show it.
being that close to Shannon's feet is the real question.
Hey, LeBron says, "Honey, I'm home."
Don't do it again.
In Oracle.
Don't do it again.
Skip Bayless, you mad
He
about this
doesn't wear
steal.
socks.
Yeah, I know that.
I could smell your feet.
On Tuesday. On Tuesday.
Chris, thanks for joining
gotta
us,
do
and be
something
sure to
about
check out his new podcast, In the Zone. No mercy. The Patriots are a huge 15.5-point favorite against the Texans tomorrow. New England beat Houston 27-0 back in Week 3 without Tom Brady. Skip, do the Texans have any shot against the Patriots?
You know, usually in a case like this, I would look at the numbers and I'd say, heck yes, they have a shot. And if you give me 15.5 points, I'd say, I'm running to the bank with 15.5. I don't care who it is or where it is, because the Texans finished the regular season #1 in fewest yards allowed. And Jadeveon Clowney, I watched last week, he has reemerged as that guy. He looked unblockable.
Reminds you why the Texans took him #1 overall.
Correct. And as much as I don't like Brock Osweiler, I got to give him this. A year ago, when he played for the Broncos on a Sunday night up in Denver, and it was snowing, he went head-to-head with Tom Brady and beat him, and threw it pretty well in that game. C.J. Anderson took the game over, but Brock Osweiler has to know, well, I did that. Right. Now, this year, not so much when he went up to Foxborough. But the point is that they have enough firepower. They can run the ball well enough. I'd say, oh, they can hang in. Not with Tom Brady. Because I believe Tom Brady is going to destroy Houston on the way to Houston for the Super Bowl. I've told you all year, this is his mission, and it starts now because it's almost like Clemson and Deshaun Watson waited all year for this to come, and then all of a sudden it's Ohio State, and you go, boom, 31-0 on Ohio State, which is, to me, a much more quality opponent than even Houston is up in Foxborough. And in this case, Brady, I liked what he said last week, because he was talking about this is the biggest game of the year for us against the best defense we've played, and this will be our hardest game. And I believe he believes with all his heart they got to come out firing against this team, and I believe he will. And I'm going to point out that without Rob Gronkowski, a lot of people said, oh, Brady's kind of a product of Gronk, who's uncoverable. Tom Brady went 8-0 without Gronkowski this year. That's pretty great. And what'd you say about Aaron Rodgers? He could throw it to Willie Nelson and make him a star. He'd catch 2 for 15. Well, I think Brady could make Willie Nelson a star too. And in this case, I think you're going to see him come out, and you're going to see that psycho Tom guy reemerge, that guy who wanted to show Goodell, well, I couldn't beat you in court because I ran out of time, so I took my medicine, and now I'm going to get even with you for trying to ruin my legacy and my career and my reputation. And I think it starts now against these Houston Texans who are in the wrong place at the wrong time. Then I believe they're going to beat Pittsburgh next week in the championship game on the way to the Super Bowl in Houston.
You got no score?
I'm going 30-10 home team.
The Texans have a chance if they were to kidnap Brady like college teams does the other team mascot. That's really the only chance they have. I got the game 34-13, and I think probably going into the fourth quarter, the game will probably be something like 24-10, and then they'll tack on, another 10 points. But in order for everything really has to go perfect for the Texans in order to win this game. They need to get big days from Lamar Miller and Alfred Blue. They need to run the ball because you have a better chance if you have Tom Brady on the sideline. And so if you can do that, plus you need to be at least 50% on third down because you have to keep moving because 3 and outs won't get it. And that's what happened to them up there with Josie Brissett. They went 3 and out. Next thing you know, it's 21-0, and the ball game is all intents and purposes over. For the Patriots, they got some guys that can disrupt some things. Jadeveon Clowney, Wynton Merciless. The thing is with Clowney, he's unpredictable. He's going to jump off the rock, Skip, and he's going to get you in the backfield. But all you have to do, and what Alex Gibbs, our old offensive line coach in Denver, would tell us, if we get tackled for a loss, just hold on to the ball. He's going to make his plays. He might get Tom Brady once, but Tom, let's get back to the line, 2nd and 14 with the ball. Don't give them the ball. Don't give them any opportunity. Don't give them any ray of light to think. Because a team like the Texans and most teams, the longer you leave them in the game, the more confident they get. And then all of a sudden, it seems like you can do nothing right and they can do nothing wrong. But I just don't see it when you just look at the offense. And the Patriots, now they don't put points on the board with their defense, but they do keep you out of the end zone. They normally make you kick field goals when a lot of teams would
number one
in points allowed. Yeah. So I just don't see how with the Texans offense that they can generate enough points, because playing them in this building, you got to get to 30. If you can't get to 30 in this building, you can't beat them. If you look at when they've lost, teams have gotten really close to 30, if not 30. I just don't see how the Texans can get to that number in this building with Brock Osweiler in this offense.
But except for the Texans quarterback, who neither one of us have any use for, you just look at the roster and the lineup, it's loaded. It's got talent everywhere.
Oh, they got skill. They got skill players. They got DeAndre Hopkins, and they got Fuller the fifth. I mean, they got guys that can make plays, but because he's so inconsistent in the pass game, he's barely a mid 55% completion guy. That won't cut it. You need to be somewhere around 60, 65, maybe even 70 to play this team in the playoffs, because they're as good as they are in the regular season. They turn it up a notch in the playoffs, if you can believe that.
Yep.
They're going to have to do more than kidnap Tom Brady in this game. They beat him 27-0 without Tom Brady. And just a fun note, this 15.5-point spread is the largest in a playoff game since the 1998 season, when Chris Carter's Vikings were 16-point favorites over Arizona. Yep. Fun fact.
Did they cover? Did Arizona?
Yes.
44-24, something.
Yeah, they covered.
Yeah.
No mercy. This is the Skip and Shannon Undisputed podcast, where we're delivering you an unscripted, unfiltered, undisputed version of the biggest topics of the day's show. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, like us on Facebook at Undisputed on FS1, follow on Twitter at Undisputed, and catch us at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, Monday through Friday on FS1. You can find us on channel 219 on DirecTV, 150 on Dish. Thanks for listening, everybody. That's all for us today. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. To listen to this and all of our podcasts, make sure you subscribe on iTunes. We're back next week. I know some shows are not on Monday, but we will be here Monday morning for all of you. We'll see you then. Fox Sports, one of one.